different ways. I mean, you initially just talked about, like, in terms of what you said, understanding who you are, trying to get.
Hey, welcome to Social Work Sunday Tea. I am Shakia Houston. It's a great day to be alive and well, even though it's rainy here in Chicago on this good Sunday. Listen, it's still all good. So make sure that you like, share, tag your friends and your family. Today, we're talking about the West Side, our Westside Stories. Born and raised on the West Side, and I have a special guest here to today. And thank you so much, Corey, for getting on and all this good stuff. So let's dive right on in. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, and introduce yourself to us. West Side all day.
Oh, thanks for having me on.
Yeah.
Name is Corey Crockett. A lot of people call me out West CL. And grew up on the west side of Chicago. Been here 39 out of 42 years of my life.
Okay.
Challenging growing up on the west side. Very challenging. It's not as big as, say, the south side or the north side. So kind of a lot of people, you kind of know each other. In a sense, depending on what area you live in, depending on how far you travel in your area, your family, things like that, that green line connect the whole west side. So you took that green or that blue.
Yeah.
You went to that west side, man. And all the main bus routes, Kedzie, Pulaski, California, Cicero, Austin. That's the west side.
Yeah, all day. And so, like, I know I grew up in the Austin community, right off Cicero and Gladys, where my family, they still resides there, so I love the West Side. I know people talk about the South Side, and I think, people talk more about the South Side than the West Side, but it's a lot of dope people on the West Side. If you really, really, I think we're more, no shade towards the South Side, but it's a West Side conversation. But I just think that, the South Side, they're a little bougie. But I don't know what it is. But
that's you women. I'm gonna leave that up to you women.
Oh, okay. But I just think more so, the West Side, we're more friendlier. I would say that. I think more friendlier, more welcoming than sometimes the South Siders. But we have our different challenges so today. What is your take on that? Like, as far as the West Side and the South Side, like, why do you think that? I guess we just dive on in. Why do you think that it's so much division between the South Side and the West Side of Chicago?
It reminds me of an album title by a little brother. Well, actually, it's a mixtape called "Separate but Equal."
Mm-hmm.
Like, we both got aggressive mentality.
Mm-hmm.
We both, I think we, and it's just when you come from out west, a lot of the history that come out here, it seems like it get overshadowed by the South Side because the South Side is so much bigger. And you got to think, if a lot of our parents and grandparents come from the South, so that black flight, a lot of them first stop mainly was South. All it took was a couple of cousins and relatives get up here, grandmothers, aunties, that was sisters, and you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And if that's someone would first stop. So when you get to the west side and you got the west suburb, things like that, it's like, I think the attitude was more, their aggressiveness is way more than we are. You know, like when they try to get it by any means. Like if they take, you know, us, we more like a hustle and bustle. Them, they like, hey, we gonna take what we want in a sense. Right, it's a job in the streets, you know, opening up businesses. You know, then you got a lot of the politicians that live on them side of town. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of the people that's in the workplace, a lot of them are dominated by South Side people, and you can pick a race. A lot of them come from the South Side, so it's like the West Side almost got to fit in a sense. Like we're more like finesses in a sense. You know, like a lot of they always say we slick. We try to be slick,
Yeah.
you know. And it's like it's really not like that because we like, man, we rather not go down that road of taking and hurt someone for someone. And I saying guys and women don't. But out south, it's way they like I said, when they want you, when they want they gonna go get it. So that's
Yeah.
where that go getter mentality comes from. Aggressiveness. And to a degree, a lot of them can be a little sensitive for the wrong reason. Us, we kind of like it's like whatever after a while, you know. But when
Yeah.
we out of town, that south side, west side, no, we together.
Right. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
are
You're right.
together. I don't
You're
care
right.
where we at. We could be
Right.
in Gary, Indiana. We like, nah, 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 nah. We all come together. We come as one. I witnessed that many times.
Somebody say, "Watch out now." I was born on the west side, raised on the far south side. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. But listen, but west side's thing, stand strong, right? Like I think I'm glad that I grew up on the west side. I don't know the experience on the south side, but I think more so, back in I'm an 80s baby, so back in the day life was a little bit more simpler. Like, we were like family more than anything, especially growing up on the block. You got family members, you got our neighbors. They kind of like look after us, and it was more of a close knit family. We just live in separate houses. And so, I think I'm just grateful because of the upbringing, some of the things like, to go to the Golden Dome, right? You go to,
Lawrence Park.
yeah, like all these places. And like, it's really a gold mine on the west side, if you really think about it, because we're not too far from downtown. Jump on the expressway, we there.
You don't take us home.
Like less than 10 minutes,
Depending on where you're going and
right.
how far you coming from.
Right, definitely. Like on Laramie, Toys. Like I love those places, so it's like it's not like I don't like I still go to certain places. I like it's home, right? I think
Right.
it's our community. And so I don't think I will want to be any other place. And but like you said about going out of town, right? When they say, "Oh, you're from Chicago," oh,
Now the
okay.
tennis go up.
Right. They was like, oh, I just feel like if you're from Chicago, you're from the West Side, whatever, I just think that you can make it anywhere. You know what I'm saying? You can make it anywhere. I just think living in Chicago prepares you for other experiences, and this is where I want to lead into our mentality, as far as like our mental health when it comes down to living on the west side. And like, what was some of your experiences that you overcame as far as in your like the different traumas, different things that you overcame on living on the west side? What was it like for you?
Well, it started off, you know, um, in a sense, I didn't know it at the time, but it started off rough for I say my father in a sense because he's not from Chicago. He's
Okay.
from Yazoo City, True Mississippi. You know, they all by each other. So
Mhm.
him, having his first son in Chicago by a Chicago woman, which my mother ended up passing or took her life at the age when I was 2 years old,
Mhm.
and only person I know was my father. I got two mothers. I always say I got three mothers, but the one that birthed me and then the two that raised me.
Okay.
And just to see, you know, coming up like you grew up in that basically in that crack era, the drug epidemic, and just to see how neighborhood go from looking one way and by the late 80s, early 90s, it just totally different, but the structure was still there. You
Right.
know, yeah,
Right.
even if your mother and father went in the house, or your auntie and uncle who might been on drugs, brother, your older brothers, sisters, there was still some type of structure. I'm doing it, but you don't do this.
Mm-hmm.
Now compared to we talking about 2024, you
Yeah.
can't tell the dealers from the users.
Yeah.
You can't tell what's a black owned restaurant or store because they a lot of them don't exist. But out west, I'm starting to see a lot of them come back for
Yeah.
us restaurants.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, the sports not the same. Music, even though hip hop was a big part, hip hop and R&B or just music in general was a big part of our lives. We don't have don't say type of shows that even though they had structure to it, that was something we was keying in on watching every day. Now we have social media, and I always say this on any platform I come on that social media made a world that was this big to us. It made us dream bigger. Now it seems like it just made it so small because you
Yeah.
can just with the click of your thumbs and fingers just tune in to something that you like. Whoa, I didn't expect to see something like this. I mean, just look at the television. Look at TV is not even TV anymore. It's
No.
mainly streaming.
Yeah.
You got a
Yeah.
lot of people that don't even watch TV like that more. If they do, they on what streaming, something like what we doing now, YouTube. That's why
Yeah.
you got YouTube TV now. Everything is expensive. You get rid of cable, but look what happened. You got to
Yeah.
pay for higher internet. It's like a big vicious cycle was going on, you know, out here. But just the family structure was one thing that you mentioned. For the most part, I had that majority of my life. There's been time where I fell on my backside, me, brothers, cousins, but you had that grandmother, you had that mother, you had that father,
Right.
and in my case, I had two great, mothers, which was my stepmothers, and they both went down different paths, but they made sure if they couldn't provide, they gave us game, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
and also, losing family members to gun violence and
Mhm.
drugs or not taking care of their health. Rest in peace to my little brother Eddie Brown, which we call him Eddie B. Lost his life last year to gun violence on my nephew's prom.
Okay.
And that's as a family that's traumatized. But
It is.
further before that, I I'm putting myself in my niece and nephew's shoes because we lost a little cousin Muck Muck to the same thing. And it's before that, 4 or 5 years before that, we lost his father to gun violence, my Uncle Chucky.
Yeah.
So just it didn't take till I got older to realize that not just myself, but my family been through a bunch of trauma. And then just to look at, my aunts, my uncles, and the way they just, hold a lot of that in. I don't know how to, what they go through behind closed doors when we not around, but that that strength that they show us, it keeps us going in a sense. And for a parent to bury their kid or
Yeah.
grandkid, you can only imagine what they go through, right? It's the grandmother or the grandfather. It's deep and it's rooted in us. And the neighborhoods are not the same anymore because look at us. A lot of us have moved, a lot of us didn't come back, a lot of us didn't reinvest in the neighborhoods like what we did. Saying we grew up in the 90s when we can go to work. And we most of us started working young if we can go to school, but we went to those stores and restaurants that was in our neighborhoods. But when
Right.
a lot of them started getting taken away, a lot of us political. We know that they was trying to
Right.
hurry up and get them out of there because they want to gentrify the neighborhood.
Right.
That forced us to move around. That forced
Yeah.
us to, if you had kids, to start having kids. If you had them there or had them young, start moving to the west and south suburbs or moving out of town and never coming back.
Right.
So that money left when we left.
Right.
I don't know if you ever lived out of town, but I have for 3 years. So
Yeah. I
imagine the
do.
money I was making out of town
Yeah.
could have been reinvested in my neighborhood. That's luckily I only stayed for a couple of years,
Right.
but I
Yeah.
seen the difference.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely see the difference when I lived in Nashville and I went to school for TSU. And
Okay.
when I came back, I was just like, I mean, it's the same people, like same corner, same white t-shirt, same jeans, you know what I'm saying? Maybe
Wait,
not
but
same.
you went to Tennessee State,
Yeah, I went to Tennessee
UTC.
State.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Shout out to
yeah,
LeVar Hamlin. He went to Tennessee State. Guy do podcast with us on Let's Talk About a Shot. He
yeah,
went there. You got a
yeah,
lot of good people that came out of that school too.
yeah,
Football
definitely,
players.
definitely.
Hmm.
Yeah, I just think that just coming back, um definitely was an eye opener for me, because I was like, I need to get this bread so I can try to invest in the neighborhood, in the community, because in which I lived in Austin, and so
Also,
that's
it's
why,
crazy.
yeah, and I was
Also,
just
it's
like,
crazy.
yeah, like I make it my best, even like for the things that I do it for Austin. Like for this up and coming years, it's all about, like, for me personally, it's about the Austin area, because like this is where my stomach ground. Like, I just think I feel compelled to do that, because if I don't, or then who will? So I mean, that's my mindset and that's my mentality when it comes down to building, rebuilding. Can't stop gentrification, right? But I want to be in those rooms so I can be able to shine my light in dark places. Like, hey, the West Side, it's a gold mine, because we are, like I said before, we are closer to downtown, and other cultures, they want to, they're moving in right next door,
They
white,
already been. A
they
lot of them been
already
here.
now, right? So
Now
they're
you
already
come.
coming now. It's
It's
done.
it's funny you say that because, we grew up in the factory town.
Mhm.
And the factories over there by my house, people that we grew up with, or they didn't come out as much, but we would
Mhm.
go over there and
Yeah,
play off the wall off their factories. Most of them lived in those factories because that's what they did for a living. As far as working, a lot of them had their own company, or their fathers, grandfather had some type of company, and they just worked on their own. These big studios, it's something we only will see on TV, but it's
yeah,
right around the corner from my house.
yeah,
And a lot of them was real, welcoming, nice, but
yeah.
they didn't come out to everyone in the community till later. We
Mhm.
talking about before 2000. I'm talking about more after 2000, when you
Mhm.
started seeing them more come in the neighborhood. And a lot of them, when you come from some tough neighborhoods and seeing the stuff they had to deal with,
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
but then you don't see the I'm trying to word it the best way I can. You don't start seeing the effects of it till way years later.
Yeah.
Now you see why they was there. You
Yeah.
know, why
Yeah.
now your neighbors, you may have, say on your block on Gladys, you had everybody that looked like you, but now it may not be that same.
Right. It's really, that's how it is. So it's like, all right, so I need to speak up. I need to do something, right? I need to do something about it, because like the takeover has begun, like the Hunger Games, has begun when it
It's
comes to the
we
West
deep
Side.
now.
So yeah,
It's,
no,
and it's funny because a lot of the people that live on the South Side, especially I think it's mainly a lot of the women, a lot of them left the West Side and moved on the South Side.
yeah, a
I'm
lot of
talking
people
about
have,
in groves.
yeah,
And but if you look at in certain areas, the rent is much cheaper.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know, you get a
yeah,
3-bedroom on the South Side, you may be paying just at 1,000.
yeah,
West Side, they knock you over the head.
yeah, yeah,
But they
a
got a
lot,
lot of their homes and houses are way much bigger, much nicer.
yeah,
And I mean southeast and southwest. Even if you look at a place like area like over by the White Sox Stadium, a lot of them I left have moved out. You got a
yeah,
lot of the Asian that's moved in those areas,
mm-hmm.
you know. So to keep those numbers up, they get the funding that a lot of us don't get. And I mean it's frustrating after a while.
Yeah, it is.
And you wonder why we, constantly fighting for equality. And you got a lot of people say, hey, you need to build your own table. You need the money to go buy the material too. It's tough. You
It
know,
is tough. So let me piggyback on what you said as far as like with gun violence, like looking at for because we were raised, we was like kind of like in that 90s era, to early 2000 era. Do you think that it was gun violence then, right? Do you think it's more aggressive? In my opinion, I think it's more aggressive now than ever versus, when we were growing up in the 90s. We had killing, we had all of those things, but it's not the same. And also, like the family structure, how you talked about that, that dynamic change, so it's like the laws of the land now. The parents want to be the kids friend where back in the day they actually parent. You know what I'm saying? They actually parent the kids. It's like,
Right.
okay, some kids can do more than others, right? Like my mom and dad, they didn't let us leave the porch sometimes, or if the street lights come on, then, all right, y'all sit on the porch. Everybody has to come to us. Like we was kind of like the house to go to sit on the porch. You
That
know,
mean, yeah, that was y'all was the hangout house.
yeah, because
Yeah.
we couldn't go nowhere. It's my two of my other two sisters. We, what I mean, we couldn't really go and do what we wanted to do,
Right.
and so it was the structure there. And so, like I said, growing up on the west side, those blocks, like we could not do, and if we was doing something out of pocket, the neighbors would
Of
be like,
course.
"Hey, y'all seen your daughter woo, with this boy?" Woo, woo. So I was like, "Hey, I don't want no smoke. Look, nobody like me or nothing." But now, like, but it was that's how it was. And I think my question was, do you think that, like, do you think that the violence, right, the interaction amongst Black people, had, like, as far as with violence, has it become more aggressive, or like, what are your views on that? Because really crime
Well,
really, really,
I
like,
would say, I think it's been aggressive, but I think it definitely came more aggressive with social media hit
yeah,
because, and I think the age of the gun violence and who it's happening to,
yeah.
because again, I mentioned my cousin who lost his life. He's probably in 8th grade, going his freshman year in high school,
Mhm.
lost his life to gun violence. You
Yeah.
know, um, I seen a guy on my 8th grade graduation that same day lose his life to gun violence, right on Kids in Force, you
Mm,
know, and
yeah,
it wasn't for that person. This was for someone else. You think it made the news or so? No, I seen killings that happened. Matter of fact, '03, rest
mm,
PK up right on the block that I always hang out on.
yeah,
Blew
yeah,
his head off right on the, I mean, down like halfway down the block from where we was at. The same year I'm moving. I'm like, shit, this is a confirmation. I need to hurry up and leave
yeah,
because I seen so in that year I lost friends to gun violence that
yeah,
same year. So it's like it's just trauma all over again. But I would say that's one of the reasons the gun violence is high is because social media. Rest in peace, my man Lil Ed. My neighbor lost his life to gun violence. Like I can run down a list of people I lost to gun violence, and as I got to this age, I realized this really affected me. I didn't realize it till I started getting older.
yeah,
Because these guys I once seen now, it's like I'm talking to ghosts. You know,
yeah.
so
So how do you
yeah,
handle that? Like, how do you handle now? You come to the realization of, man, this is really it affect you because sometimes, like when you hear, let me say this. Sometimes when I hear on the TV, multiple shootings, this, and I don't want to become numb to it. Like this is the norm, but at the same time, this is what's happening. It's like nothing is new under the sun. So my question to you, how do you handle all the people that you lost, along on your journey now that you're 43, right? And so
42.
42, sorry, I'm trying to age you.
Yeah,
My
it's all
bad.
good.
What do you do as far as with your mental health when it comes down to that? Because it kind of sets in, because the older you get, the more you realize a lot of stuff is like, some stuff not even worth it. Your view change for the world and the things that are around you. So what do you do for your mental health when it comes down to that?
At one point, I was just trying to stay busy.
Yeah.
Keep myself busy so I won't think about it as much, and I try not to revisit those things because I know it can take me to some type of depression. You
Mm,
know, and then I look at my family member eyes.
mm,
My mother's, my grandmother's. I'm like, I can only imagine what they're going through. So what I'm going through gotta be worse. I mean, what they're going through gotta be worse because
yeah.
this is someone they birthed.
Right.
So are they holding up? So I kind of try to stay strong for them while they stand strong for us, type of thing.
Mm,
Talking about it.
yeah.
Speaking to different people, just having dialogue with others. You know, um, this is one of the things. Even before my brother was his life was lost to gun violence, I had already started, talking about the let's drill, let's build, because every time I get on social media, that's all I'm seeing,
Yeah.
and that's a part of tearing down our neighborhood. The kids can't go anywhere like they used to. If they do, you got this group of guys going against this group of guys. They not even gang. Like they's more like cliques in the sense,
Mm-hmm.
and they get on this social media platform, just go at each other all the time. And now that a lot of who survived, who's growing up, they starting to see what was it really worth.
Right.
Now they got kids. Do you
Right.
want your kids to go through it? 'And even back in our day, think about some of the guys we knew and women that had kids with guys that was in the game. A lot of them got into it, but a lot of them took their kids away from it because they
Yeah.
didn't want them to come and be a part of that lifestyle because they know what come with it,
Yeah.
jail or death.
Yeah.
And even if you were on the streets and you decide to jump off the porch, you have some type of guidance of them to, hey, do as I say, not as I do.
Yeah.
Now, if you jump out, we're gonna try to use some game of what not to do, how to
Yeah.
keep attention off you, not doing this, that, and the third.
Yeah. Yeah.
The dealing with the streets was way different, which we always talk about, especially DJ Vita. Shout out to DJ Vita. He said bring back structure, but
Yeah.
to me, I feel like there was a plan even back when we was in high school. You know, it's
Yeah.
like damn, we seen when they said, "Hey, we're gonna knock down the project." They did. They spread a bunch of this out. A lot of people started coming to our neighborhood that was in foreign land. So
Yeah.
if you come from those type of environment, which in the neighborhoods it was more struck. You seen it. Then you got this group of people that's coming to foreign land. They mentality from where they come from coming with them,
Yeah.
and it's a
Absolutely.
bunch of them coming, and it's no secret. We
Yeah.
know this has been a plan. I used to go when I was young. They had the Midwest Community Council on my block, which
Mm-hmm.
was one of the black civil rights leaders, or uh, the leaders of Chicago was Nancy Jefferson. And
Okay.
just to see that old lady always come, and she would come, they would just like, rush her, make sure she was straight, and just hearing her. I didn't understand at the time what was going on, but these people like that was standing up for people in our neighborhoods, trying to help them get jobs,
Mm-hmm.
trying to get through the politics of things,
Yeah.
trying to keep structure in the neighborhoods, things like that.
Yeah.
And you don't see things like that no more. A lot of things they try to pass on us, we got into the mode of just trying to survive.
Right.
You
And I
know,
was
we
gonna say that, yeah, we did. Yeah, we definitely did. Like,
did, and if
just
it
think,
has certain,
yeah, no, no, no. Like we really, really do. Like, okay, let's see. But the thing is, a lot of older people, and I'm gonna say this like wholeheartedly, a lot of old people, they don't really want to like give off the information or pass the baton. They want to hold on to it for dear life. They gatekeeping. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you have a willing participant to wanting to see change, and with change, it comes it comes with some stuff, that you have to deal with. But at the same time, the older generation, they have to stop gatekeeping when it comes down to, you know, um, resources and things like that, so we can better the community and, and other people that are around. Like, you have some, but then you got others where it's like, no, no, no. But to
yeah,
piggyback off of what you said about, like, even with the gangs, right? A lot of the gang members back in the 90s, like, like I know some, they old, not old now, but like they're older now. And like, but even me growing up, they're telling me like, okay, it's time to go in the house. Go in the house now.
yeah.
Bye. You don't sit on this corner too long. All right, we're
Or they
talking,
just, if they see
you
you
know.
going down a good path, they will keep the
Oh
BS
yeah,
away from you. You know,
yeah,
like don't go left, go right.
right,
And if this
exactly.
person on the left trying to bother you, now just you're not doing it.
Yeah,
They may pull you to the side. Hey man, hey, don't be
yeah.
around her or don't be around him. Because
Don't
they
talk
not
to him.
good for you. Yeah, they not gonna blast you out in front of them. But like I said, if
Mhm.
they know you that type of that type that go left, they know how to use you.
Yeah,
If you trying to
definitely.
go right, hey man, leave that person alone. They
Hmm.
want to see you become better than them.
Right.
And I mean, if you look at it on the overall, everything is politics. No matter, I mean, where you talk, the way you walk, the things you watch, the way you write, I mean, just everyday life. It's going some politics. Even though a lot of people don't like to do the politics, which I really don't, but you gotta get into it because
You got to.
You got to understand what's going on. A lot of this stuff still confusing for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Like you said, passing down the knowledge of, but a lot of us didn't go to school for learning about financial literacy.
Right.
A lot of us didn't go to school for, and our parents got homes off hard-earned working money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Back in their days, they didn't understand how to pass that down to their kids and how
Yeah.
you keep it up. And if
Right.
you sell it, try to get the best price for it.
Right.
You may need to stop taking your ass to the club and hanging out and miss a few summers so you can be able to stack up. And if you got something you're trying to pass on to your next generation,
Yeah.
it's a bunch of people that just want to, they get the bag or get the money and then they want to go dump on each other.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I got this, or I do this better than you, or I make more than
Why
you.
not?
It's like, man, okay, you getting it like this. Let's work together. And
Right.
then the
Exactly.
trust is gone in the neighborhoods too. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people I don't trust to this day. Because you never know anyone intent. Like if it's real.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you can get on that other side, and they can do the same thing to you. It's just they do it in black and white.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. You come from where we come from.
Yeah. 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 So let's talk about less drill, less bill. What's that? What movement? Talk about that movement for us.
Well, it was more of I'm just like I said earlier, just losing so many, especially in this last year, been like one of the craziest for my family and myself. But far just over time, these past 12, 13, 14 years, losing so many of these young men and women to gun violence. Back in the day, you say no women, no kids.
Right.
It's like everything just, oh God, it's like it's hard to even walk into a store, a restaurant. You could be sitting in the house, kid can be playing a game and lose their life. I've seen that happen many occasions. And I was just more like this, less of that because we can't stop the violence. I mean, we got an army, we got a navy,
Right. Right.
so we grew up in it. But if you want to build a community back, put those guns down, stop the gun violence. Let's build back up the neighborhoods. Let's try to bring our resources together so we can get back to what we know can be prosperous for our future of the next generation.
Yeah.
Because the goal is to get old, correct?
Yep.
And
That's
you got, and it's like it's the influences. Who do you look at as your influencer?
Yeah.
If you're looking at someone like a person that all they talk about is violence, but they may not even be living that way. But you got somebody like George Floyd still living. Think about that for a second. You want to tear your own down, but when others doing it to your race,
Yeah.
and you women, I gotta take my hat out to a lot of you women for y'all putting up with a lot of our crap, especially back in the day. I can only imagine what our grandfather put our grandmothers and great grandmothers through. Lord have mercy. I know they glad they didn't grow up in the social media area.
Listen,
But
like it's really, really traumatizing though. Like it's a gift and a curse. That's how I
it
look
is.
at it.
That's why I want to go with it. It
Yeah,
definitely is a curse.
it's definitely a gift and a curse because it's kind of like like you said, damn if you do, damn if you don't type thing. You want to promote what you got going on. You want to promote. Then you got the shenanigans on the other side of it, and so they see all of these things. And so I just think that if we as, if we have children and parents and, if let us be the light to, these children and really get involved. It's a lot of good things that's happening on the West Side. They having a march Saturday, April 13th. The West Side Block Club Association and the seven light platoon, the Jeep Club. They're having a Jeep.
Hopefully it don't rain.
Yeah, if it don't rain, right. They got a little. I'm on Crystal Garner. Shout out to Crystal Garner. I'm on her page. Yeah, it's from 11 to 1 p.m. The West Side got a lot of good things. You got the Austin Town Hall. You got the Park District. You know what I mean? You got different things. And I think more so the West Side really need to be pumped up because it's amazing, dope people on the West Side, that are actually doing things for the community and, on the West Side. So it's a lot of resources, but that's the thing. A lot of people, they don't know about the resources, like the picket It's in Columbus Park. I don't even know the pickleball. They got a whole bunch. You know, we don't play pickleball. Black folks don't play no pickleball. I ain't never heard of it until they
It's
taught us.
something new though. It's something to do.
It's something to do, right? And I think that, you know, just making people aware, especially, making people aware in like our age or whatever, 30s and 40s, if we got children, hey, let's go do this. Like gather up everybody, you know what I'm saying? Get the bikes out. You know, like
Right.
I seen how back in the 90s, like we had the bikes, our bikes. And so we knew where everybody was because everybody bike was stationed on the grass.
You knew who bike was who.
They was like, oh, that's such and such
Mhm.
bike. Like my mom and dad, sometimes they'll put a water jug. Like we used to, that's how much. And I feel bad for this generation because they never, you know, if they could experience what we had.
Life outside.
Like if they really, really experienced what we had growing up, you know, yeah, we had the candy store lady. We'd go walk down the street, you know. She had a candy store in her garage on Gladys. It was just a lot of good stuff, like good stuff. Like had a water jug or the water hose. We couldn't go if we went in the house, we couldn't go back. We couldn't go back outside.
Drink water under the faucet, because you didn't been outside running all day. And you know
what? Like outside.
I saw somebody post, I want to say it was early this week. They like, damn, we used to do a lot of walking back in the day. I say, you might be right, because I know I literally would walk from if I wanted to save a few dollars, even though getting on the train wasn't much, I just feel like walking just to see what's going on out west. My father didn't notice all the time, and it was time what we would do it. We would literally walk from Kizzy and Lake Street to Cicero and Hubbard.
Oh,
you know how far that is?
That is.
And I did that on the regular. I'm going through part of the East Garfield, damn near all the West Garfield.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I think the Cicero and Lake Store wasn't what it was then.
Right.
As soon as like once I hit Lake Street and Cicero, I'm two blocks up. I know exactly, Block Candy right there.
Yeah.
I'm going to Cooper Hubbard Park. I'm, and then walking back to, that's that, but it was good exercise too.
It was.
But just think about a lot of the kids now, you 16, 17, the kids are obese.
Yep.
Kids are getting depressed. Somebody's online bullying them. I'm like, don't you just turn the phone off? But you got a lot of people that got the evil minded spirited. They just do certain things and say certain things to certain kids that maybe ain't built like that.
Right.
Even you going back then, a lot of them people was protecting them. Yeah. And it's like they don't care. Yeah. And a lot of the music I choose to listen to, especially a lot of the artists are from the Westside Chicago, that help put me in a different mindset from hurting myself or harming someone else because of what they talk about. And they don't get a lot of the shine, the Scooter Chose, which is my little cousin, Fillmore Green, Max Julian, Rufus Sim, I'm starting to listen to different guys like Fly Skin, Panorama P, Jujilla. Who else? Even the guys that I used to work with on One Life Entertainment. Rest in peace, my brother Joe Fo, he's the founder of the One Life Studio. Okay. Just the artists like Major League, Eric Young, Menace, Johnny Strings, them guys that I came in to doing the music with, trying to put them out there because of the message and the things they talking about. Because I see the same thing they see because we from the same side of town, even though we're in this big, great city. But they speaking for someone like me that's speechless. They know how to put it in words. Right. And just to hear these guys, and I'm missing many, many other artists that's doing great things out here. But just to see them navigate and talk about certain things that you like, damn, yeah, I've witnessed that, or I've been through that, or I've seen people go through that. Yeah. I think artists like those guys that I mentioned, you like, damn, why they not in the forefront of a lot of this? Like everything is just drill. You just want to take somebody life. Yeah. And then a lot of them getting on these social media platforms like what we doing now and dissing each other, going back and forth. Yeah. And it's not going anywhere. It's poison to the generation that's coming out. Like I got nephews and nieces that's in their teens and early 20s. They kids gotta grow up, if they starting having kids early. You
Yeah.
know, if they even decide to have kids later on, they kids still gotta go through that. So it's like, look at the aftermath of a lot of that. You know, that's what the Let's Drill, Let's Build came from, man. Like, let's just build back up our communities as, you know, the
Absolutely.
best way we can. And not only that, and it's crazy you said this about the passing on the knowledge. You got a lot of people our age that don't want to pass on the knowledge. You
Yeah.
got a lot of people feel like I want to be the first two, or they got their clicks of how they move around, who they move around with. You got some feel like this person may be threatened because they go hard at whatever they do. They may have a lick on it, but like, damn, you oh no, let me add this person because they do great at this.
Right.
You maybe do great at this, but I do great at this. But they might still feel threatened by them because they might get more attention than me
Me.
for
Yeah.
what I'm doing. I'm like, no, we all can work together.
Yeah.
And by being in Chicago, you know what they say, man, it's a crab in the barrel mentality that a lot of us got.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
it's a headache after a while, man. It's
Yeah.
depressing.
It
It's,
is.
it's like the schools don't even look schools that look the same anymore. I mean, look
Yeah.
at a school like Marshall High School. I mean, the enrollment probably was maybe 7, 8, 900 at one point.
Yeah.
They got a total maybe less than 200 kids in there now.
Wow. Yeah.
We talking about 8, 900 per year. They coming in as freshmen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
One of
A
the
lot of kids, they're
young,
not going to school. They're not going to school. They're not doing anything. And then the parents are not making them go either, and I think this, we, and I'm guilty of that myself, is like, as far as not lackadaisical, but
you
giving
have
them a
kids.
voice. Yeah, I got a 15-year-old daughter.
Okay, I
And
don't
so,
have kids, so I try not to tell a
yeah,
parent how they should parent.
yeah,
But
but the thing is,
you still gotta be respectful. You gotta be
yeah.
respectful of your elders, and a lot of
Right,
them
right, right,
don't.
right. I just think that it's just a different wave of kids. How my parents me, I try to parent her like that, and it's like some stuff now I gotta do it their way, because it's like that's the only way it's gonna work. But it's a different mentality, different thing. I'm kind of like having conversations other than, all right, let me get this belt and whoop your, you know what I'm saying? Versus, me having a conversation with them, because they do go through a lot more than what I just feel like in our era, we were built kind of for tough. Like
Ain't no choice.
like talking about, when we used to let me get them, like we talking about each other, like the dozens going back and forth. Well, look at they don't have that. And I tried to like teach it's a side note, but I tried to teach my daughter how to like go back and forth if somebody say something to her. But it just didn't work. It just wasn't. I was like,
because
what?
sometimes that can hurt someone more than putting your hands on them.
Right.
And shout out to like a lot of the and they don't get a lot of credit. I left somebody out, my man Max Julian. He had an album called Maxology that I can listen to from getting the end, and I can understand exactly where he come from, seeing what he done, as an artist, and now he's a content creator. Because naturally, a lot of them guys from the Holy City, I ain't gonna need to lie to you. A lot of them just different. They funny naturally. They don't have to try. They just what they do, like you said, snapping, jokes, right? Some sensitive to it, some not, but they create character.
Yeah.
So you might have the people that not ready to build for, but you got at some point you got to show them, hey, I got a few jokes you can keep your ball from.
Yeah.
So you got some that can just do it all day. Joke, play, but again, it teach you to be, like you said, full tough. Being in those area, that's all you do. West Garfield, you got to be prepared for that mentally. It ain't so much always the physical.
Right.
Can I outthink you?
Yeah.
In a sense.
Yeah.
And if you
keep you on
see
your toes.
right, and if you see BS coming, you know what?
Let me
I'm
go
gonna
about
just
my
get
way.
away from that. I'm gonna go about my way. You got some that love BS. They love getting down like that. And I'm not one of those. Like, if I see it, some people say I be petty. I'm like, nah, I just kind of repeat what you done already done.
Mm-hmm.
So but you got guys like Uncle Hank and Big Lowdown and Burn Pro, Boom So Funny, Rico, also Rico. You got all Skin Bone Corporate. He was one of the early guys I seen. Him and who was this guy named? Country Wayne. But it's just Country Wayne from Atlanta. Them some of the early guys I seen doing the content create with the jokes. And it seemed like it's a generation gap between them and stand-up comedy. If you look at it, with a lot of the stuff they reenact or they come up with, I look at it as that as them paying homage to a lot of those guys because
Yeah.
that's what influenced them. Just like you looked up to certain movies and the black exploitation and the pimp movies and this, that, and the third. You looked up to somebody before you. So it's like
Yeah.
to me, the comedians are getting more a lot of the recognition than a lot of the artists now. And I think if most of them start working together, because I seen a lot of the comedians back in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, especially down south, they was on a lot of those videos and skits before the videos came on. And you had a
Mhm.
lot of the rappers that were doing showcase or had these guys hosting they concerts or they was at these events, these guys showing up. Could you imagine if that happened on a regular in Chicago?
Mhm.
But you
Mhm.
got to be on the same page. You know, you're not gonna be able to make it to everything. Don't get me wrong.
Right. Right. Right.
But
Right.
if a
Right.
lot of them guys got on the same page, it'll be a beautiful thing. Cause
Yeah.
some of them guys can rap too. Some of them come from that. They just was funny and they started doing content create. You know, you got guys like um D Brown, which he's related to someone I know, my man Marte Brown, Uncle Hank. Seeing
Yeah.
them guys, him and Big Lowdown on tour now. You
Yeah.
know, they understand how it is coming from out west. So wherever they go, they taking that with them. You
Yeah.
know, you got the guys that's from the south side and to see them guys come together can work together. You know, they had their little falling out here and there, but at
Yeah.
the main goal, the main goal is them guys working together, trying to
Right.
make some money with each other.
Yeah.
Why a lot of these artists can't do that? You got they cliques of people that do certain things. I get it. They
Yeah.
come from different sides of town, whatever the case may be. But if you see a lot of them start working together, man,
Yeah.
the light is already on Chicago. But a lot of us, music wise, it's for the wrong thing. The
Yeah.
first thing people in media when they see this out of town, especially you start making CNN and that's everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, the
Yeah.
gun violence, the gun violence, the gun
Yeah.
violence.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a time for a change. We seen
Yeah.
about. We know what Chicago could be. We seen the good side of
Yeah.
it, and we also seen the politics side of it too. They
Yeah.
don't get no. They don't get no pass.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, bringing us into what we see now. And
Yeah.
I'm not gonna never put it all on those. Which we would consider drill artists. Because they come from poverty too.
Right.
I don't
Right.
come from these bad situations and trying to make some of themselves. And they seen that, oh, we got a lick. But look what, like I said earlier, the aftermath to a lot of it.
Yeah.
And it's sad, you know. And
Yeah.
you gotta also think too, and I forgot to mention this earlier. When we was in high school, the rate of women and the girls and boys having kids was just through the roof. Now you came out years after me. I'm assuming I came out in '99. You probably came out in '01
I
or
was in
'02.
eighth grade in '99. I graduated from eighth
See?
grade in '99. In 2003, I
Mm.
graduated from high school.
Now
So
think about
yeah.
it. They started putting the babysitting in the high schools after we
Right.
left. When I moved back to Chicago, I went to go see one of my own girls, and she was working at West House. Come to find out, they had a whole daycare center in there. But
Mm-hmm.
Marshall had it first. I
Yeah.
didn't believe people. They're like, yo, it's wait a minute. You telling me it's daycares? Because they said, man, the girls and the young men are having babies so early. We talking about freshman, sophomore year high school.
Yeah.
Now, think about the ones that had them. We came in 95, 96. We
Yeah.
came in high school in 95. So a lot of my friends or people at my age range, a lot of them are grandparents already.
Yeah. Yeah. They are.
So a lot of them was raising them, but they was growing up with them too.
Right.
They
And you
want to
do.
hit them trees. So
Yeah.
now that's what I think that you're not raising your kids, you're growing up with them. You're trying to be their friend thing came in. That's what I'm assuming. I don't know. I'm not a
Yeah.
parent.
Because you know what? It's not a handbook to parenting. But like you said,
Definitely not.
you do grow up with your children when you have them young. Like I have my daughter at 22, and
But
but
see, that's like you graduated out of college at that age. In the sense.
well, I was still in college, you know. But I just feel like, but no, but it's a growing up thing. Even in college, right? You still growing. You know,
True.
you don't really know yourself until I say I don't really. I'm just now beginning to in my 30s know who I am and what my purpose and things like that. So it's kind of like you still grow up, and then now that you have the things and what you experience, moving forward from when I first had this child up until now, I experienced things. And even in my childhood, like I had a great structure, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like
Key
I
word structure.
now, right. It gotta be, I don't care what nobody say, it has to be structure. regardless if you're a single parent or got both your parents, it has to be some type of structure, because if it doesn't, it's kind of like a free fall and everybody doing what they want to do. And so I do try to do my due diligence as, my daughter. It's not easy because she at that teenager age, you know what I'm saying? They just like, I don't like it. But I think more so, the older she gets, the more she understands about life and what she has to experience, because it's her journey, as well as I have my own journey, but she has her journey as well. But at the same time, I'm here to support her. And I think a lot of the children, a lot of the kids that because I'm a therapist, and a lot of the kids, they don't feel supported by their parents, right? And I think just really stepping in and actually having conversations with the youth and see where their head is, because they deal with a lot. A lot of these parents, they on drugs. A lot of these parents, they don't have certain things, or they don't want to be parents. So they feel that they don't feel the love, or if they if they don't like the daddy, they take it out on the kids. It's so many dynamics.
I mean, that happened when we grew up. It just wasn't social media. A
Yeah.
lot of, and there's a lot of things that our parents and aunties and uncles and grandmothers hear from us for a reason, because they didn't want to see us hurt at such a young age. It took, but maybe it could have helped, it could have hurt it. It just depends on the situation,
Right.
It's a lot that I just started, like you probably found out, like, wait a minute, auntie did this, that, you like, wait a, and I love talking to my aunts, especially on my mother's side, because they got a brain like an elephant. Number one, they remember every damn thing. But just to try to give you some game, just to let you know, you may hear this about, but this was the truth, And everybody have their own family, feuds or misunderstandings, but it's somehow them curses got to be broken,
right?
And if one person said this, but the truth was lies over here, but the truth it didn't come out. They feel like you weren't ready, or they just forgot about it. Whatever the case may be, that can hurt a family too, or can divide a family.
Absolutely,
can divide a family. So that's why it took me to older. Like, okay, I see why they kept us from. You don't want kids. You don't do this in front of kids. You don't argue in front of kids. You don't do this. If you don't do that in front of, because you don't want to put that in their brain. Absolutely. This is okay. And it's not.
Because it's called adverse childhood experiences. What we see and what we do, and in the younger years, it affects us in adulthood, right? And we have to unlearn certain things and people, places, and things. And so, with that being said, any last words, any announcements? Because we winding down on time.
All right. Well, you see behind me, I got the purple box. Show that's coming up next Saturday at the Bourbon on Division Street. You got like 20 acts, 20 Rufus Sims, Panorama P, one of the special guests, Fillmore Green. You got, it's the 1 year anniversary, by the way. Purple box. You need to get in tune with it. Check it out. It's like on some AI futuristic stuff. Just help promote the artist. Who else? You got Mr. Misfit. You got it's so many to name. I wish I would have wrote it down so I could.
No, you good.
But if you look behind me, you gonna see all the names. You got DJ I-20, he's DJing. You got Thought Poet is one of the hosts. It should be a very dope event. You got Rainwater. Like AM, PM, AM morning. He's on the bill. You also shout out to and this gentleman. He's peaked number 3 in the past week on the charts for his new album, which is what is this? The Muslim guy. I literally just saw him last week at an event. Him and his brother. Like, it's so many artists.
It's cool. Are these artists on the Westside?
Go to my Facebook, Instagram page, and you'll see all the acts that's on the bill. Panorama P is one of the guys that's also getting down. And a lot of them I didn't know per se. So you get a chance. to check them out. And also April 20th, they have an alumni game for Manly.
Oh, okay.
Right there
Okay.
on Jackson and Washington at the church.
Okay.
They're going to be honoring the fallen members of the basketball team, which is
Yeah.
my little brother, rest in peace, Eddie Brown. We know him as Eddie B. They're gonna be retiring the jersey and giving it to my mother and the family.
Okay.
So if you get a chance, come out and support it. You can
Okay.
pay in advance or you can pay at the door. But it's I'm proceeding probably going for the school alumni, so they probably keep things going.
Yeah.
Um, who else? Oh, shout out to Fly Skin. He also having the show out there at the Piazza. I think that's going to be April 19th. He's opened up for Rick Ross. He just opened up for Fat Joe 2 weeks ago, which that was dope. Um, who else? I think I feel like I'm missing somebody. Oh, shout out to you, of course, for bringing me on. You know,
Always say, hey, cousin, we'll go back and
mm,
watch. Love to see you. You are still going strong in your vision.
I don't
Yeah.
even know who that is right now because it say Facebook user.
Right. It's yeah, I don't know.
But
But we appreciate it. No, I really, really think that you're dope and amazing. You really rep 290 all day. Like even
I
with the pictures,
try.
I was like, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, but you definitely need to I'm on like we're gonna have to link up when it come down to like building as far as like within the community, like community service, serving the people on the west side. And yeah, like let's do this. And but yeah, I appreciate you coming on the live and sharing your story, living on the west side. And because it's the west
East
side.
Garfield. It's
Ah!
Western House Warrior. Boy, went to Boy Grammar School. Went to Little Sorrows. Went to the Marillac House. Went to Byler Elementary School. I
Oh,
literally been all over the West Side. I lived on the South Side for like short period of time. It was a couple
yeah,
months.
yeah.
My stepmother and father fell out. Went to go, they were cousin. They and the crazy part is had to take the Green Line to get there. Right
Yep,
down the
the
road.
green line. Yep,
So
green line get you
that's
everywhere.
and
Man,
I lived up north. I stayed up there on Howard. Same
okay,
thing. Stepmother, father fell out. I ended up going because my father's side, they all from down south.
okay,
So one of my cousins staying far up there off Howard somewhere. Got on that train, took that almost hour ride, then I had to walk like 20 minutes. I should be in the NBA doing all this walking. And then I should be on trained for any type of walking. I don't like to walk now. That's probably why I'm traumatized. We used to do a
I
lot of
think so.
walking.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so I also want to say rest in peace to my boy Joe Fo. Joe Fo Williams. He passed away back in October, and
okay,
that's the person who started. Like I said, One Life. He started the studio. I came to
okay,
name me, him, and Joe Fo, and we the found and Il Maestro the foundation. But
okay,
Joe's the one that opened them doors for what
yeah,
you hear about as One Life Studios, One Life Entertainment. So hopefully I can keep his name going through what the Let's Real Let's Build, and also try to take care of yourself. Try to
yeah,
take care of yourself, mentally and physically. It's
yeah,
not easy.
yeah,
It's tough.
yeah,
Try to stay strong. It ain't easy. If you need to talk to someone, maybe talk to the Most High or try to seek help. It's a lot
yeah.
of help. It's like a person like yourself.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. I appreciate it. And if everybody, they can follow you on your social media handle, I'm gonna definitely shout you out. Someone said Austin Tigers. Okay. All right. Rep
We're not gonna get into the real West thing. We're not gonna get into it.
but
Also,
no,
Tiger
like
Hoop. No,
listen.
I'm joking.
Right. So listen, my Dope Promise fundraiser, Emerald City, will tickets are on sale. Early bird tickets are $100, and then after a certain time, it will be 135. So I got afterpay. Listen, it's gonna be a
You
great,
own it. It's
great.
gonna be out there by the airport, right?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Sheridan. So it's at the Sheridan Suites O'Hare, Chicago. We had it there last year. We're having it again this year. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be
What's the date
amazing.
again? Because I got to try to.
Saturday, September 28th. You gotta be there till
Oh,
all you
oh,
guys
oh.
to come on and
Yeah.
we're gonna support a nonprofit. So I'm gonna be announcing a nonprofit soon.
Okay.
I got like 15 nonprofits that I'm going out to look at and see, and then I'll make my decision and my choice, and then we're gonna
Okay.
get it cracking so we can get the so we can get things rolling, and so I can be able to be a blessing to the nonprofit of my choice. And it's other little things that I'm going to be doing, maybe a pop-up shop. I might do a tea party soon as well.
That'll be nice.
Men
Okay.
are invited. We're gonna have some cigars, we're gonna have
Okay, you said cigars. Now we talking. No.
so yeah, so we don't get that cracking. So it's a lot of fundraising things that I want to put into place, but my main baby is the adult prom and fundraiser, Emerald City. We're going
That's
towards
Saturday, right?
That's a Saturday, and
Both
also
of them in town, so
yes,
I definitely want to come. I got I gotta work some things out.
All right, and
As
also
far as a date.
okay. And if you want to stay at the hotel, we also have a room link. If you don't want to, go home after the festivities.
Nah, that's not a good idea.
No.
I come from out that way.
Right. If you want to stay and make it a staycation, that's a great time. But I want to thank you so much for getting on the podcast, and
thanks for having me. You got to give me all the information too, so I can just help you.
Okay, I appreciate it. Yeah, let's get this out there because I really, really want this. It's gonna be. I sold out last year. I'm gonna sell out again this year. So yeah, it's gonna be a good.
Go back to back, like the Golden State Warriors or the Chicago Bulls. Go back to back.
Mike,
people can't say they didn't get this information about the nonprofits and doing things like that. Right. Some things just cost. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it does. We gotta help.
Even if you can't make it.
Donate.
Share it on your page. Donate.
Right. Donate. I got my donations tab also. Just donate towards the cause. And I'll be greatly, greatly appreciative of everything. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And bring more Chicago artists on the hip hop artists out west.
Okay, out west.
They need you.
Listen, they bring them. Hey, send them to me. We can make this cracking. And of course, we're going to tie it into mental health. You know what I'm saying? Everything revolving around mental health. So, yeah. But definitely, send them my way.
All right? I can do that. You got to listen to their music, though, too.
I know. What's to me then?
You got to tune in.
Don't make me. All right, I'm going to get real. I'm going to get Sister on Glass on you. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Don't do it.
It's funny because I think you had one on here before. You had Fillmore Green on here before, right?
No, I haven't. No.
I thought I saw you had him on. I don't know why.
No, not yet.
This to his music. He talk about that in his music. You got artists that talk about it. It's just people gotta listen and pay attention. He's one of him. Max Julian, Scooter Shows, them guys. You hear him talk about these things going on in their music. Even my boy Eric Young. He did a lot of I call him Eric Young Anthem now because he like family number one. But when we lost family, people close to us, he started just making songs, putting it through his music, and it uplifted my family. So we need more of that. Maybe that can help people get through their day, even if they don't make a dime off of it. A lot of it just about saving lives too. Pushing the envelope to help change the community. So
all right, cool. Thank you. And I'll see you guys hopefully next week. And we'll be live on the podcast, Social Work Sunday Tea. Love you guys and peace.
Thank you. Nation.